8. Axioms and properties of equality, postulates, and theorems in identifying mathematical systems.
Kaya naman po, sa ating mga grade 5, grade 6, grade 7, and grade 8 learners, ang ating episode po sa araw na ito ay para po sa inyo. Kaya samahan niyo po kami hanggang alas 12 ng tanghali. Ako po si Ma'am Maymay Resma.
Ako po si Teacher Drew Manuel.
At mamaya naman po, bilang pagpapatuloy sa ating programa, makakasama niyo po si Sir Given. Samahan niyo po siya hanggang alas 2 ng hapong ito. Ang ating programa hatid po sa atin ng DepEd Division of Davao de Oro in partnership with the Z-Radio 88.5.
And paalala lang po sa ating mga pupils, students, and parents and guardians to please notify us with your attendance in our RBI classes for today by filling out the link https://tinyurl.com/Radyo Z-Eskwela 0406. And naka-flash din yan sa ating mga FB screens at nakapin sa mga comment sections sa ating FB pages.
Yes, so maraming thank you for that, Sir Drew. It's already 10:15 sa buntag, and I guess it's now time to begin our class with our first lesson for today.
Yes, and we will start with Mathematics 5 na may topic na visualizes, names, describes, and draws polygons with 5 or more sides. Makakasama natin dito bilang content presenter, isang teacher 1 from San Roque Elementary School dyan po sa New Bataan. We have Ma'am Lochel T. Velos.
Marvin on how surprisingly easy and fun learning mathematics is with your MATH-TINIK teachers. Together, let's make our day math saya. Kaya naman po, tara na, magklase na ta!
Time! Good morning, Davao de Oro, to our grade 5 learners and to our avid listeners of Z-Radio 88.5 radio station. Welcome to Mathematics 5. We are delighted to be with you again. I am Ma'am Lochel Velos, and I will be your teacher in Mathematics 5 from San Roque Elementary School, New Bataan. Today, we are learning about visualizes, names, describes, and draws polygons with 5 or more sides. As we start our lesson this morning, let's get your notebook or paper, ballpen or pencil, and most importantly, your module in Mathematics 5. So, what are we waiting for? Sit down and listen carefully. Before we will start our lesson this morning, let's have a review first by identifying the following statement if it is a polygon or not polygon. Again, you have to identify the following statement if it is a polygon or not polygon. For number 1, a closed two-dimensional figure made up of line segments but not curves. Again, a closed two-dimensional figure made up of line segments but not curves. Is it polygon or not polygon? The answer is polygon. Very good. You got it right. Number 2. It has rounded sides and its sides intersects at any place other than at the ends of each side. Again, it has rounded sides and its sides intersects at any place other than at the ends of each side. Is it polygon or not polygon? The answer is not polygon. Correct. Number 3. A closed-shaped figure that has a minimum of 3 sides and 3 vertices. Again, a closed-shaped figure that has a minimum of 3 sides and 3 vertices. What is the answer? The answer is polygon. How many answers did you get? If you got a perfect score, then congratulations. But if not, don't worry, for you will surely understand this interesting lesson as long as you listen carefully along with our discussion. Tangram puzzle. Do you have any idea what is tangram puzzle? Have you heard about tangram puzzle? What is tangram puzzle? Now let us have a brief history about tangram puzzle. The tangram puzzle is believed to have been invented in China thousands of years ago. A tangram is a puzzle made up of 7 shapes that can be arranged to form many different designs. But they're not just any old shapes. A tangram is made up of 2 big triangles, 1 medium triangle, 2 small triangles, 1 square, and 1 parallelogram. A tangram became very popular in Europe for a time, and then again during World War I. It is one of the most widely recognized dissection puzzles in the world, and has been used for various purposes including amusement, art, and education. Now these are the shapes that composes a tangram puzzle. We have here 2 big triangles, 1 medium size of a triangle, 2 small triangles, a total of 5 triangles. Another one is a square shape, and lastly 1 parallelogram. There are 7 shapes total of a tangram puzzle. I have here 2 sets of a tangram puzzle, set A and set B. Now let us count how many sides of a polygon it has in set A and in set B. In set A, we have a first shape which is a square. A square has 4 sides. The next one is a triangle which has 3 sides. And the third one is a trapezoid which has 4 sides. And lastly, a rectangle shape which has 4 sides. In set B, we have 4 figures. The first figure has 7 sides. The second figure has 13 sides. The third figure has 7 sides. And the last figure has 15 sides. If we compare the 2 sets of a tangram puzzle, from set A to set B, they have the differences by the number of sides. We can see that set A has lesser side than set B. The minimum side of set A is 3 sides, while the maximum sides of set B is 15. Although the 2 figures are grouped into 2, they belong to one family of shape called polygons. What is polygon? Polygon is a plane figure with at least 3 straight sides and angles, and typically 5 or more. Here are some examples of polygon. We have triangle, square, hexagon. These are only few examples of polygons. From the examples given, we have here a hexagon. Now let us count how many sides of a hexagon it has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A hexagon has 6 sides. I have here a triangle. A triangle is an example of a polygon. A triangle is a three-sided polygon with congruent sides. Next, we have a square. A side of a square is equal, and all sides forms right angle. Now, what is line segment? A line segment is part of a line that is bounded by two endpoints. Next is the side of a polygon. We all know that the line segment is bounded by two endpoints. The line segments that form a polygon are called the sides of a polygon. And the side of a polygon forms a triangle. How about the vertex? A vertex is a corner point which lines met. So, if two line segments met, we now have a vertex. Another one is an intersecting line. An intersecting line is when two or more lines cross each other in a plane or share a common point.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
Now, let us try this activity and prepare a graphing paper or any available clean sheet of paper that you have. Using a square dot or a graphing paper, mark 3 points and then connect consecutively. Again, you have to mark 3 points and then connect it consecutively. But remember, do not mark the dots in a straight line pattern. Again, do not mark the dots in a straight line pattern. Let's make a dot. 1, 2, 3. Then we will connect the dots consecutively. 1, 2, 3. What shape did you create? If we connect the 3 points or the dots that we have consecutively, we can create a triangle shape. How about if we mark 4 points and connect consecutively? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 dots. Now we will connect the dots. 1, 2, 3, 4. We now have a quadrilateral. If we also mark 4 points or dots and connect consecutively, we can have a square shape and a parallelogram. Another one we have rectangle. Lastly, Mark 5 points and connect consecutively. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots. Now we will connect the dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can create a pentagon shape. Good job, kids! You are good in drawing polygons. Now that you are capable in creating polygons, let us try to draw the following. Number 1, we have heptagon. Again, heptagon. Next, decagon. Again, decagon. Number 3, parallelogram. Again, parallelogram. Number 4, we have hexagon. Again, hexagon. Number 5, pentagon. Again, pentagon. Now let us check your activity. First, we have heptagon. Heptagon that has 7 sides, 7 vertices, and 7 angles. Note that this part is a side of a polygon. This one is an angle which formed by 2 rays, and this point where lines met in a corner point is called vertex. The second one is decagon. Decagon that has 10 sides, 10 vertices, and 10 angles. The third one is parallelogram. Parallelogram has 4 sides, 4 vertices, and 4 angles. Next, we have hexagon. Hexagon that has 6 sides, 6 angles, and 6 vertices. Lastly is the pentagon that has 5 sides, 5 angles, and 5 vertices. Great job, kids! Now, how many answers did you get? Did you get a perfect score? Now, write your score on top of your paper or your notebook. Take note that all the regular polygons has the same number of sides, angles, and vertices. We have here a square. So if a square has 4 sides, then it has 4 angles and 4 vertices respectively. Our next polygon is a pentagon, which has 5 number of sides. From the Greek word penta means 5. We also have hexagon, which has 6 number of sides. From the Greek word hexa means 6. Another one is heptagon, which has 7 number of sides. From the Greek word hepta means 7. Another polygon we have octagon, which has 8 number of sides. From the Greek word octa means 8. Nonagon, a nonagon which has 9 number of sides. From the Greek word nona means 9. We also have decagon, which has 10 number of sides. From the Greek word deca means 10. For our activity, you have to give a name for the given polygons using their vertices. I have here an example. This is a square shape. A square has 4 vertices. The first vertex given is M, followed by A, and the third one is T, and lastly is H. Now, what is the name of the given polygon using their vertices? The answer is math. Correct. Let us try this activity. I will read again the direction. Give a name for the given polygons using their vertices. First, we have heptagon, a heptagon with 7 vertices. The first given vertex is A, followed by C, T, I, O, N, and S. Again, the first vertex is A, second is C, followed by T, I, O, N, and S. What is the name of the polygon? The second given polygon is pentagon with 5 vertices, and the first given vertex is H, followed by E, third one is A, next is R, and the last one is T. Again, the first given vertex is H, followed by E, and then A, R, and T. What is the name of the given polygon? Let us now check your answers. The first given polygon is a heptagon which has 7 vertices, and the first vertex that is given is A, followed by C, T, I, O, N, and S. What is the name of the given polygon? The answer is actions. Very good. Next polygon is pentagon. Pentagon with 5 vertices, and the first vertex given is H, followed by E, A, R, and then T. What is the name of the given polygon? The answer is heart. Great job! You got it right.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corbada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Maze Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
Did you learn something from our lesson? Now let me ask you some questions. What do you call a polygon with 5 sides? Again, what do you call a polygon with 5 sides? The answer is pentagon. A polygon with 5 sides is called a pentagon. Another question is, how do you draw a polygon? Again, how do you draw a polygon? To draw a polygon, we use a graphing paper or a clean sheet of paper and mark the dots as much as you want and connect it consecutively. But remember, do not mark the dots in a straight line pattern. We have here an example on how to draw the polygon. Now we have to mark the dots separately, which is not in a line pattern, and then connect it consecutively. 1, 2, 3. We now have a polygon, which is a triangle shape. Now, let's have our evaluation. Let's see if we really understand our lesson this morning. I will read the direction first. Read and analyze the question. Write true if the statement is correct and write false if it's not. Answer on your notebook or paper. Again, you have to write true if the statement is correct and write false if it's not. For number 1, nonagon has 11 sides. Again, nonagon has 11 sides. Number 2, heptagon has 8 vertices. Number 2, heptagon has 8 vertices. Next, number 3, we have polygon WATER water is a possible name of pentagon. Again, polygon WATER is a possible name of pentagon. Number 4, polygons have at least 3 sides. Again, polygons have at least 3 sides. Last one, hexa means 6. Again, hexa means 6. Let's check your work. For number 1, nonagon has 11 sides. The answer is false, because nonagon has 9 sides. Number 2, heptagon has 8 vertices. Again, heptagon has 8 vertices. The answer is false, because a heptagon has 7 vertices. For number 3, polygon water WATER is a possible name of pentagon. The answer is true. You got it right. Number 4, polygons have at least 3 sides. The answer is true. Correct. Number 5, hexa means 6, and the answer is true. Correct. You got it right. Great job, kids. We are now done with our lesson. Hope you enjoy and have some fun while learning our lesson this day. Thank you for listening and have a good day.
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive Committee, the school's Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin Seso 5, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan, OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco, School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members: Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Eldicris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangi, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Dalan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland D. Yu, Donna D. D. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riven Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banias. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian and Hara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istanyol, Richard H. Arellano, Clee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Arai.
Good morning, Davao de Oro. Good morning, grade 6 learners. Welcome to our radio-based instruction in collaboration with Radio Z-Eskwela and Z-Radio 88.5. Siguradong Kuyaw, Siguradong Lingaw. This is your teacher in Mathematics 6, Teacher Joseph Babag, bringing you another fun and exciting math-amazing lessons and activities today. So, make yourselves comfortable and make sure that you can hear this broadcast clearly. Please prepare also all the necessary materials like your module, notebook, and ballpen. As we start our lesson, be sure to listen attentively and follow all the instructions in every activity. At the end of the session, you are expected to achieve the following objectives: calculate speed, distance, and time, and solve problems involving average rate and speed. So, are you ready to learn another math-amazing lesson today? Very good. Now, let's start our lesson with fun and exciting activity. The title of this activity is How Fast Are You Going? I will repeat each item twice, so you have to listen carefully. Ready? Let's begin. Number 1. How fast are you going if the train you are on travels 864 miles in just 3 hours? How fast are you going if the train you are on travels 864 miles in just 3 hours? Number 2. How fast are you going if you skate 40 kilometers on your roller skates in 2.5 hours? How fast are you going if you skate 40 kilometers in your roller skates in 2.5 hours? Number 3. How fast are you going if you run 120 kilometers in the race in only 1.5 hours? Again, how fast are you going if you run 120 kilometers in the race in only 1.5 hours? Number 4. How fast are you going if you walk 4.5 kilometers with your dog in just 1.25 hours? Again, how fast are you going if you walk 4.5 kilometers with your dog in just 1.25 hours? Last number 5. How fast are you going if you fly 14,400 miles in a UFO in just 2 hours? Again, how fast are you going if you fly 14,400 miles in a UFO in just 2 hours? Time's up. Let's see how fast did you solve each item. For number 1, how fast are you going if the train you are on travels 864 miles in just 3 hours? What do you think is the answer? Correct! The answer is 288 miles per hour. Very good. And for the second number, how fast are you going if you skate 40 kilometers on your roller skates in 2.5 hours? Very good. The answer is 16 kilometers per hour. You got it right. And for the third number, how fast are you going if you run 120 kilometers in the race in only 1.5 hours? That's correct. The answer is 80 kilometers per hour. And for number 4, how fast are you going if you walk 4.5 kilometers with your dog in just 1.25 hours? Exactly. The answer is 3.6 kilometers per hour. And for the last number, number 5. How fast are you going if you fly 14,400 miles in a UFO in just 2 hours? What do you think is the answer? Aha! The answer is 7,200 kilometers per hour. Very good. What did you observe in our first activity? Did you notice any relationship to our lesson today? Yes, of course. Since in our lesson today we are going to deal with speed, distance, and time, do you have any idea what these words mean? Aha! What is speed? What is distance? And what do you think is time? When you say speed, it is a scalar quantity that refers to how fast an object is moving. It can be thought of as a rate at which an object covers distance. And when we say average speed, it is a measure of the distance traveled in a given period of time. It is sometimes referred to as the ratio of distance and time. While distance is the amount of space between two objects or the state of being far apart, and time is the measured or measurable period during which an action, process, or condition exists or continues. Now, let us try to consider this problem. Jonathan bought a new car. He drove his car from Manila to Baguio City, where he spent his vacation at an average speed of 65 kilometers per hour for a total of 4.5 hours. The question is, how far did he travel? Now let's explore in this problem. We were given a speed of 65 kilometers per hour and time of 4.5 hours. To find the total distance traveled, we can simply multiply the given speed and time. Now let's try to solve. Distance equals speed times time. Now we are going to substitute this one. So we have distance equals 65, which is the speed, times 4.5, which is the time. Now we are going to multiply 65 times 4.5. The answer is 292.5. Therefore, Jonathan traveled 292.5 kilometers from Manila to Baguio City. Based on the problem we solved, we can identify which is speed, which is distance, and which is time. 65 kilometers per hour tells the speed, and we express speed in kilometer per hour or meter per second. 4.5 hours or 4.5 hours tells the time. Remember that time is measured in seconds, minutes, or could be hours. And 292.5 kilometers tells the distance. Distance is measured in centimeters, meter, and kilometers. Take note that the relationship between speed, distance, and time can be expressed in the following expressions. In calculating speed, distance, and time, we will use to easily solve the problem. Now, ready your record notebook and pen for speed, distance, and time. Now here are the formulas. If the speed is being asked, remember to use the formula. And what is the formula? Well, the formula is speed equals distance divided by time. And if the distance is being asked, simply use the formula. Distance equals speed times time. And if the time is being asked, use the formula time equals distance divided by speed. And to further understand the relationship between these terms, the speed, distance, and time, we can also use a triangle to help you remember the three formulas. How to do that? Get your pen and notebook and follow these simple steps. First, draw a triangle. Second, draw a horizontal line in the middle of the triangle. Then, draw a vertical line in the center just below the horizontal line you drew. You must see a sign like a big letter T inside the triangle. Next, write letter D for distance above the horizontal line. Lastly, write the letter S, which stands for the speed, in the left side of the vertical line, and letter T for time in the right side. You will notice the three letters, D above and S and T below. But how are we going to use the triangle to remember the formula easily? To find the distance, cover letter D. Since S and T are next to each other, it means multiplication. Now we have distance equals speed times time. And to find time, cover the letter T, and since D is over S, it means division. Now we have time equals distance divided by speed. And to find S or speed, cover S, and since D is over T, it means division. Now we have speed equals distance divided by time. Speed, distance, and time are commonly observed in daily life situations. Examples are watching different racing and track events. Likely, you will see a fast-moving object has a high speed and covers a relatively long distance in a short time. Contrast to a slow-moving object that has low speed and covers a relatively small amount of distance in the same amount of time. There are units and abbreviations commonly used to express in calculating speed, distance, and time. Well, you have to jot down and listen carefully. For instance, if we use miles in distance unit, hours for time unit, thus the speed unit can be expressed as miles per hour and an abbreviation of mph. And if we use kilometers in distance unit, hours for time unit, thus the speed unit can be expressed as kilometers per hour and an abbreviation of kilometer per hour or kph. If the distance unit is meters, seconds for time unit, therefore, the speed can be expressed as meters per second and an abbreviation of m over s. If we use feet in distance unit, seconds for time unit, thus the speed unit is feet per second and an abbreviation of fps or feet per second. If the distance unit used is centimeters, seconds for time unit, therefore, the speed can be expressed as centimeters per second and an abbreviation of cm over second and an abbreviation of centimeter over second. Always bear in mind that speed referred to as the ratio of distance and time. Don't go away, stay tuned so that you won't miss any significant part of our lesson. I will be right back.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Maze Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
I am back. Sit back and relax as we continue our lesson discussion. Another interesting point that you must consider in our lesson today is the value of conversion. There are instances that speed, distance, and time needs to be converted. For example, you are asked to calculate the average speed in kilometers per hour and kilometers per minute, or kilometers per hour to mile per second. Then, it is quite important that you must learn how to do simple conversion. Now, here are some of the important conversions for you to remember. Always remember that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes and 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds, while 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters and 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. At this moment, let us try to apply the concepts that you have learned a while ago. Prepare your notebook and ballpen and listen carefully. Are you ready? Remember, I will read each item twice. Number 1. If a car travels 100 kilometers in 2 hours, find the average speed. Again, if a car travels 100 kilometers in 2 hours, find the average speed. Now let's study the problem by identifying the given and the unknown. The given are distance equals 100 kilometers, time equals 2 hours. As you see that speed is unknown in the given. Now let's solve for the speed. Using the formula, we have speed equals distance divided by time. So speed equals 100 kilometer, which is the distance, divided by 2 hours, which is the time. So we have 100 divided by 2, the answer is 50 kilometer per hour. This means that the average speed of the car is 50 kilometer per hour. Very good. And for the second problem, Vincent's motorcycle's average speed on motorcycle is 50 km per hour. If he drives it for 4.5 hours, how far does he travel? I'll repeat. Vincent's motorcycle average speed on motorcycle is 50 km per hour. If he drives it for 4.5 hours, how far does he travel? In order to solve the problem, we must study the given and the unknown. The given are speed equals 50 km per hour, time equals 4.5 hours. Thus, the unknown is distance, so we have to solve for the distance. Using the formula in finding the distance, we have distance equals speed times time. Now we have 50, which is the speed, times 4.5 hours, which is the time. This means that he traveled a distance of 225 kilometers. And for the third problem, Danielle can type 840 words in 20 minutes. Calculate his typing speed in words per minute and words per hour. Again, Danielle can type 840 words in 20 minutes. Calculate his typing speed in words per minute and words per hour. Alright, in this case, we need to find out how many words Danielle can type per minute and per hour. Using the formula, his typing speed can be calculated as typing speed equals the total number of words divided by total time. Now we have 840, which is the total number of words, and 20, which is the total time. 840 divided by 20, the answer is 42 words per minute. This means that Danielle can type 42 words per minute. Now, let's proceed to the second task. Calculate his typing speed per hour. In this case, we will translate or convert. In 1 hour, there is 60 minutes. Since we know already his typing speed per minute, which is 42, so we just simply multiply his typing speed per minute to 60. We have typing speed equals 42 times 60. And we have 2,520 words per hour. Therefore, Danielle can type 2,520 words per hour. Very good. And for the fourth problem, Penny decided to travel to Palawan one summer. The airplane flew at an average rate of 300 meters per hour and covered 375 miles. How long did the flight take? I repeat, Penny decided to travel to Palawan one summer. The airplane flew at an average rate of 300 meters per hour and covered 375 miles. How long did the flight take? Now let's study the problem by identifying the given data. The given are, we have the speed, which is 300 meters per hour, and a distance of 375 miles. But the time is still unknown, so we have to solve for the time. Using the formula in finding the time, we have time equals distance divided by speed. Now we have time equals 375, which is the distance, divided by 300, which is the speed, and the answer is 1.25 hours. This means that the flight took 1.25 hours. You are doing great. Now here's the last problem. Problem number 5. Adrian travels from Lucena City to Manila every Saturday to visit his mother. The trip takes 3.5 hours at an average rate of 64 km per hour. How many kilometers does Adrian travels from Lucena to Manila? I repeat, Adrian travels from Lucena City to Manila every Saturday to visit his mother. The trip takes 3.5 hours at an average rate of 64 km per hour. The question is, how many kilometers does Adrian travels from Lucena to Manila? Let's study the problem by identifying the given and the unknown. The given are speed equals 64 km per hour and time of 3.5 hours. Thus, the unknown is distance, so we have to solve for the distance. Using the formula in finding the distance, we have distance equals speed times time. So we have 64, which is the speed, times 3.5, which is time. We get 224 kilometers. This means that Adrian travels a distance of 224 kilometers from Lucena City to Manila. Alright, you are doing great today. Now let's continue deepening your understanding by answering another fun citing exercises. I believe you can do it. Ready? Good. Now let's begin. For exercise A, you are going to calculate the distance that you would travel if you drove for number 1, 2 hours at 30 km per hour. Again, 2 hours at 30 km per hour. Number 2, calculate the distance that you would travel if you drove for 1.5 hours at 55 km per hour. Again, calculate the distance that you would travel if you drove for 1.5 hours at 55 km per hour. And for the exercise B, how long does it take to travel in number 3, 100 kilometers in 20 km per hour? I repeat, how long does it take to travel in 100 kilometers in 20 km per hour? Number 4, how long does it take to travel in 180 kilometers in 45 km per hour? Again, how long does it take to travel in 180 kilometers in 45 km per hour? And for exercise C, a car travels 200 kilometers in 8 hours. Calculate the average speed of the car in kilometers per hour. Again, for number 5, in exercise C, a car travels 200 kilometers in 8 hours. Calculate the average speed of the car in kilometers per hour. Time's up! Let's check your work. For exercise A, calculate the distance that you would travel if you drove for 2 hours at 30 km per hour. What is your answer? Well, let's try to solve using the formula. Now we have distance equals speed times time. We have 30, which is the speed, multiplied by 2, which is the time, and we get 60 kilometers. Therefore, the answer is 60 kilometers. Good! Number 2, calculate the distance that you would travel if you drove for 1.5 hours at 55 km per hour. Is your answer correct? Now let's find out using the formula. Now we have distance equals speed times time. Now we have 55, which is the speed, multiplied by 1 and 1/2, which is the time. 55 times 1.5, the answer is 82.5 kilometers. Correct. Next is exercise B. How long does it take to travel in 100 kilometers in 20 kilometers per hour? What formula did you use to solve this item? Of course, it is the formula in finding the time. Time equals distance divided by speed. Now we have time equals 100, which is the distance, divided by 20, which is the speed. Now we have 100 divided by 20. The answer is 5 hours. Thus, the answer for item number 3 is 5 hours. And for item number 4, how long does it take to travel in 180 kilometers in 45 kilometers per hour? Again, this item asks for time. Therefore, we will use the same formula in item number 3. Now we have time equals distance divided by speed. And time equals 180, which is the distance, divided by speed of 45. We have 180 divided by 45. The answer is 4 hours. Very good. Now we will proceed to the next item. In exercise C, a car travels 200 kilometers in 8 hours. Now calculate the average speed of the car in kilometers per hour. Let's find out if your answers are correct using the formula in calculating speed. The formula in calculating speed is speed equals distance divided by time. Now we have speed equals 200 kilometer, which is the distance, divided by 8 hours, which is the time. Now we have 200 divided by 8. The answer is 25 kilometers per hour. Congratulations! You did great! Now, just relax for a while and I will be back very soon.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
I am back, so keep on listening too. Now, let us have a brief summary of our subject matter today. How are we going to calculate the speed? How are we going to calculate distance and time? What are the formulas? And in what way you can easily remember the formula so that you can solve it easily? Well, pay attention on these key ideas. When we say speed, it is a scalar quantity that refers to how fast an object is moving. It can be thought of as a rate at which an object covers distance, while average speed is a measure of the distance traveled in a given period of time. It is sometimes referred to as the ratio of distance and time. The formula in finding the speed is speed equals distance divided by time. When we say distance, it is the amount of space between two objects or the state of being far apart. And the formula in finding the distance is distance equals speed times time. Lastly, when we say time, it is the measured or measurable period during which an action, process, or condition exists or continues. And the formula in finding the time is time equals distance divided by speed. Remember that using triangles with letter D, S, and T, you can easily remember the three formulas. Well, you did great today. Congratulations for completing all the tasks. That's all for now. Thank you for listening. This is your teacher in Mathematics 6, signing off with the saying, it's more fun to learn math techniques. Goodbye!
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive Committee. The School's Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin Seso 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco. School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members, Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opena, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Eldecris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Sikinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangit, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Daylan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland D. U, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riwen Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banians. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian Anhara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istaniol, Richard H. Arellano, Glee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Araiz.
Saludo ako sa'yo. Di mo alintana mga batikos at pangungutya, lalong-lalo na sa panahon ng pandemya. Ika'y di sumusuko, lumalaban at nangangako, maihatid pa rin ang serbisyong totoo. Para sa kabataan, ginagawa ang lahat, maibigay lang ang edukasyong karapat-dapat. Kaya't ang awit kong ito ialay ko sa'yo. Deped ako'y saludo sa'yo, sa katapatan mo sa Pilipino. Ngayong kaarawan mo, tanggapin mo ang pagpupugay ko. O deped ako'y saludo sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Ika'y pinangungunahan ng isang superwoman. Wala walang iba, Madam Leonor Briones lang naman. Sa ngalan ng serbisyo, dedikasyon sa trabaho, pagmamahal ng isang ina, nararamdaman ko. Ikaw ang humuhubog sa aming kinabukasan, laging inuuna ang kapakanan ng kabataan. Kaya't ang awit kong ito, ialay ko sa'yo. Deped ako'y saludo sa'yo, sa katapatan mo sa Pilipino. Ngayong kaarawan mo, tanggapin mo ang pagpupugay ko. O deped ako'y saludo sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo.
Z Radio 88.5.
We are back mga kazi. It's already 11:45 at live na live pa rin po tayo ngayon. Kayo'y nakikinig pa rin po sa ating programang Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Siguradong masaya!
Yes, kasama niyo pa rin po kami. Ayan, Mamay May Resma po.
And I'm Sir Drew Manuel.
Ayan, at atin pong natunghayan ang ating second lesson presentation for today's episode. It's about Math 6, Sir Drew.
Yes, and the topic for that is speed, distance, and time. And we would like to say thank you and congratulations po sa ating content presenter for this one. Isang teacher one from Pungpong Integrated School dyan po sa New Bataan. We have Sir Joseph T. Babag. And also to his creative resource material developer, isang teacher one from Maragusan District. We have Aris May H. Olandria.
11:45 na po at ngayon makakasama natin si Sir Joseph live na live sa ating programa kung saan sasagutin niya ang ilan nating mga frequently asked questions. Kaya sa ating mga grade 6 learners, tumutok na po kayo. And once again mga kazi, let's welcome Sir Joseph T. Babag, Teacher 1 from Pungpong Integrated School from New Bataan District. Hello Sir Joseph!
Hi, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, welcome back.
Mainood to.
Sa atuang programa. Napakaganda ng iyong lesson presentation. Congratulations. At ngayon, handa ka na bang sagutin ang ilan nating mga katanungan?
Yes, ma'am.
Handang-handa na si Sir. So, our first question here is, does time depends on speed? Again, does time depends on speed?
Yes, time do actually depends on the speed because speed really affects time. Now, for example, if an object or a vehicle moves faster and faster, it will take a shorter time for an object or a vehicle to cover a certain distance. Now, in contrast or contrary, kung ang object is hinay ug dagan, it will take longer time for the vehicle na makover niya tong distance. So,
Okay.
Next question, Sir Joseph. How long does it take to travel 100 kilometer at 20 kilometer per hour?
alright, now in solving this one, no, kailangan nato kuhaon ang mga given. Or the given are distance which is 100 km and a speed of 20 km per hour. Now, ang unknown diri is ang time. So, we need to find the time by using the formula in finding the time, which is time equals distance over speed. Now, we get to divide this 100 and 100 divided by 20, then we get 5 hours. This means that it will take 5 hours to travel a 100 kilometer at the speed of 20 kilometers per hour.
Ayun. So, basta matandaan lang nila yung formula,
Yes, ma'am.
sir,
Yes.
no?
Importante kayo
Okay.
ang
So,
formula.
again, sa gito itong formula, sir?
Ang formula in finding
The
the time
times.
is time equals distance over speed.
Yan. Okay. So, for our third question, calculate the distance that you would travel if you drove for 2 hours at 30 kilometers per hour.
Right, so, kung ano po nato ang mga given, importante good kayo na siyam. Now, ang given are speed, which is equal to 30 km per hour, and time time of 2 hours. So which mean gidagan niya sa kakusgon nga 30 km per hour sa duha lang ka oras. So ang kulang nato diri ang ato ang pangitahon is ang distance. Now, our formula in finding the distance is distance equals speed multiplied by time. So, multiply na to ang speed by time. So, we have 30 times 2, then we get 60. This means that you can travel a distance of 60 kilometers for 2 hours.
Okay.
Next question dito, sir. If you travel at 70 km in 2 hours, what is your average speed?
Alright, so natay distance which is 70 kilometer, time 2 hours lang gihapon.
Okay.
Now in finding the formula, finding the speed or the average speed, ang atong formula nga gamiton is average speed equals distance over time. So ato lang i-divide ang distance which is 70 kilometer, multiply nato sa 2 hours, then we get 35 kilometers per hour. This means nga kung mo travel taog 70 kilometers sa duha lang ka oras, ang ato ang average speed ana is 35 kilometers per hour.
Okay. So, can you give one real-world situation of the relationship between distance, average speed, and time?
Alright. This is very important no kay mga tanam gyud ang mga bata. Sa ganun kailangan man nato na i-klase.
Oh.
No, now one real world or one real life situation kung mahisgot tag relationship between distance, average speed, and time is kanang magbasa ta sa kanang ginatawag natong mileage or millage. When we say mileage or millage, tawag na siya og kanang it is a numbers of miles traveled by a certain object or a vehicle. Or sa Tagalog ginatawag na siya og agwat ng bawat milya. No? Importante siya is because pinaagi ana makuha nato ang average speed sa car by using the formulas.
Okay. So, yes, thank you so much. Ang importante lang diha is masabta nila ang concept kay bisag unsa pa nga mga numbers ang ihatag sir no basta ma-familiarize po nila
formula.
those formulas.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
speaking of formulas, pwede ba nato masaysa ang review kung unsa katong mga formula? For example, ang pangitao nato is the distance.
Okay, akong balikon nga formula in finding the distance, we have distance equals speed multiplied by time.
Okay.
Next is ang average speed, which is average speed equals distance over time. And kung mangita punta sa time, we have time equals distance over speed. So ato lang tong timan-an.
Yes, so thank you so much, sir. Very clear kaayo, no?
Yes.
So hopefully sa mga nakatutok sa ato ang mga grade 6 learners, mas nasabta ninyo ato ang lesson for today, which is about the speed, distance, and time. Ug atong pasalamatan, of course, our content presenter na si Sir Joseph T. Babang nga ni travel pag yun siya padulong diri Sir Drew, no?
Tama.
Para makauban nato live na live aron matubag ang mga pipila ka mga pangutana gikan sa ato ang mga viewers. So Sir Joseph, before we say goodbye, basin doon na kayo mga gustong i-greet or pasalamatan.
Kay unang-una, nagpasalamat ko sa Ginoo kay safe and sound ko nakaabot diri bisag na mga harang-harang. Actually, mabalik pa ko ron sa ako ang school, ma'am, sa akong dutihanan. So, I would like to greet Mr. Jumedes Sikalikdan, ang mga DCP diya sa New Bataan, and to all teachers, school heads of New Bataan, and of course, sa tanang teacher nga na-assign sa mga bukid-bukid. Keep safe sa inyong tanan, ma'am, and of course, keep safe sa tanang teachers sa Davao de Oro.
Ayan. So, once again, thank you so much, Sir Joseph T. Babag, a teacher 1 from Pompong Integrated School. And keep safe, sir, and God bless you. And see you next time sa more lesson presentation pa na imong ihatag sa tuwa.
Yes, so shout out also sa ihang partner, no? Ang ihang creative resource material developer nga si Teacher Aris May Olandria, Teacher 1 from Maragusan District.
Ayan. And reminder po sa ating mga content presenters, labi na sa mga padulungay pa or for this week or next week pa na mga content presenters to please submit your raw materials sa ato ang mga RBI editors para mas mapanindot pa jud ang ato ang lesson presentation sa atong programa.
Yes, it's already 11:52. Maraming thank you sa lahat po ng mga nakatutok at sa mga kaka-tune in lang po. Laban na sa ato ang dear learners, please notify us with your attendance mga kazi. So our link, Sir Drew, is
https://tinyurl.com/Radyo Z-Eskwela 0406. Naka-flash yan sa ating mga FB screens at nakapin din yan sa ating mga comment sections sa ating mga FB pages.
alas 11:53 na po, and I would like to say hi to Ma'am Ellen nagbentihan mo, Elena Kaintik Palcon from Compostela Central Elementary School SPED Center. And speaking of Compostela, hello to Nanay Lor. We miss you,
Yes, hi,
Nanay.
Nanay.
And to Ma'am Ritzel Espinosa. Shout out po sa kung mga kaubanan diha sa Cao National High School nga mga on duty karon laban na sa mong principal Ma'am Norma Amber Ruiz. Ayan, hello kaninyo mga igsuon. See you later. And sa mong district head to Ma'am Rosario A. Nunez sa maayong udto kanimo, ma'am.
And hi also sa itong mga netizen na si Mia Gado, Graciel Francisco, Neddy Ann Sahulga, Rosario Obeja Bangoy, Princeton Charles Lee, Gemma Hesta, Dina Angulo, Rowena Delphine, Hendrik Ives Carmilotes, Reynold Heverola Villarin II, Evelyn Obeja, Romeo Gamet, and pa-shoutout din po sa aking mga kasamahan dyan sa Tuburan National High School, Maawab District, most especially sa among school head dyan na si Sir Rogelio Eguno, and sa amuang district supervisor na si Ma'am Toto Teves ug sa kanyang mga kasamahan dyan sa district office. Hello po and maayong pagpaminaw.
Yes, so mga kazi, we're done airing na po our first 2-lesson presentation.
Yes.
Kaya mamaya makakasama niyo po si Sir Given. So ano-ano ba ang mga dapat nilang abangan, Sir Drew?
Yes, mga kazi. So, tutukan yan ng ating last 2 hours for today. Teacher Given will give you the 2-lesson presentation which is about the Math 7 na may topic na solving linear equations and inequalities in one variable. And also, for the Mathematics 8, na axioms and properties of equality, postulates and theorems in identifying mathematical systems.
Alas 11:54 na po muli, nais naming pasalamatan ang ating mga program sponsors. Maraming salamat to Metro Gear Construction Corporation,
Then Builders and Development Services Corporation,
Max Maze Enterprises Incorporated,
We Inc. Construction Company,
Rangay Construction and Supply,
East Sussex Enterprise.
WM Construction,
Hello po, Councilor Bugi and Miss Marjorie Vertidazo.
Acon Builders and Supply,
Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
at sa Pahati Construction. Sila po ang ating mga program sponsors. Maraming salamat po. Alas 11:55. Once again, it's April 6, 2021. Happy birthday sa tanan natong mga kazi nga nag-celebrate karon sa ilang mga adlawng natawhan. And sa ubang okasyon nga inyong gina-celebrate, happy celebration po. So, Sir Drew, doon na pa kay pahabol?
Ayan, so palaging makatutok sa ating programa sa Radyo Z-Eskwela from Mondays to Sundays, alas 10 hanggang alas 2 ng hapon.
So, if you missed this episode today, dili lang mag-goal tungod i-upload natin sa atong YouTube channel. Just be sure nga nakasubscribe na mo. It's Radyo Z-Eskwela DDO. So, please do like our video. Subscribe na mga kazi. Kami magpapaalam na po. Musunod na si Sir Given Hinampas. Ubanin ninyo siya tama na alas 2 sa hapon para sa atong programang Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Siguradong masaya.
Yes, kini si Ma'am Maymay Rasma.
Ug kini si Teacher Drew Manuel.
Kauban usab nato atong VMix operator, Kuya Tata Acosar. Ingon man ang ato ang secretariat for today, Ma'am Bessie Aya Banyes.
And Ma'am May Sanyol.
Yes, daghang salamat mga kazi. Ayaw mo balhin padayon sa pag-tune in din sa inyong paboritong radio station. Kini ang Z-Radio 88.5, ang istasyong Siguradong Lingaw.
Siguradong kuyaw.
Bye mga kazi!
Katambalan ng pag-ahon, isang bansang puso ay pinag-iisa.
Nang dikiin, lahat tayo'y uunlad at aangat.
Yan tayo, kabrigada, diwa ng bayanihan, atin ang kasimula. Man ang mararating, mananatiling tayo ay magkasangga. Dahil sa tuwing kasama ka, kabayani kabrigada, lahat ang ikawin gawin, bigat ay kayang buhatin. Ito ang pusong brigada, paalala ay pinapaganda. Pusong brigada eskwela, walang iwanan tayo.
Paano na tinatawag na tahanan?
Aalagaan, patuloy pagyamanin, kulay at tinig, panatilihin natin.
Ito lang,
Kapit lang,
sama-sama,
walang iwanan,
mananatiling magkasangga.
langit ay kakampirin natin. Ano man ang mararating, mananatiling tayo ay magkasangga. Dahil sa tuwing kasama ka, kabayani ka brigada. Lahat ay kayang gawin, di ka kayang buhatin. Pusong brigada eskwela, walang iwanan tayo. Walang iwanan tayo.
Magbayanihan na, magbayanihan na, bayanihan, pagtutulungan, walang kupas na kaugalian. Tatag at tibay, sinasabuhay, galak sa puso ay walang kapantay. Panahon na naman ang brigada, pagbigisin lakas at diwa. Tara na brigada na, brigada eskwela, magkaisa sama-sama. Brigada eskwela, salin na buong barkada. Brigada eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Ikaw ako, tayong lahat, hawak kamay, sabay-sabay, kapit bisig, buong bayan. Tara na, kumilos na. Tulong-tulong sa pagsulong, hatid na kalidad sa edukasyon. Sa kabataan, saya at dunong, buong madla sabay na aahon. Panahon na naman ng brigada, pagbigisin lakas at diwa. Tara na brigada na, brigada eskwela, magkaisa sama-sama. Brigada eskwela, salin na buong barkada. Brigada eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Brigada eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Brigada sabay-sabayan na, sabay-sabayan na.
Nagasibya gikan sa Bulawanong probinsya sa Davao de Oro. Kini ang Siguradong Lingaw.
Siguradong lingaw.
Siguradong Kuyaw.
Siguradong kuyaw.
88.5 Z-Radio.
This is Z-Radio 88.5.
Z-Radio 88.5. Siguradong lingaw. Siguradong kuyaw.
Sugdata ang adlaw with a smile. Tune in na sa radio, in alive. Bisan na sa man good, listen to the music and it feels so good. Ay gundang ihangtod, mapapuntagan pero lingaw man pod. Sa balay man o trabaho, bisan na sa man ka muadto. Giving you the best music, diri lang sa Z-Radio. Kahit ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawanon na Pasibya, Z-Radio. Kahit ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawanon na Pagsibya, Z-Radio. Don't stop sa Z-Radio, tagaan mong lingaw. Kay giving you the best music and everything, that's what make us proud. So turn your radio up, don't stop. Chillin' mag-tune in sa radio, all day, all night. Diri lang sa Z-Radio. Bisan o gasa pa ka padudong, sa balay man o trabaho. Giving you the best music and everything, diri lang sa Z-Radio. Kahit ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawanon
Usa ka ba ka techie? Pindot dire, pindot dito. Ang inyong bagong Z-Radio may application na. Mag-download sa Android App Store ug Z-Radio application aron masking asa ka man mo adto, Luzon, Visayas ug Mindanao ug masking naka sa Zimbabwe. Makapaminaw ka sa Siguradong Lingaw, Siguradong Kuyaw, Z-Radio 88.5.
Z-Radio, sa bulawan nga pagsibya. Z-Radio.
Nagasibya gikan sa Bulawanong probinsya sa Davao de Oro. Kini ang Siguradong Lingaw, Siguradong Kuyaw, 88.5 Z-Radio.
This is Z-Radio 88.5.
Z-Radio 88.5.
Check our time, it's 12:05 in the afternoon and you are still tuning into Z-Radio 88.5 sa inyong mga radyo, ang istasyong Siguradong Lingaw, Siguradong Kuyaw. Maayong udto mga kazi, my name is Teacher Given ug ako ang inyong makauban down to 2 o'clock this afternoon para sa pagpadayon ni ining ato ang paghatag kaninyo sa ato mga learning episodes and lesson presentations nga gi-prepare gayud sa ato ang mga teachers nga na atasan isip mga content presenter no sa ato ang mga lessons for today. Kamusta ang ato ang mga pagpaniud to din ha? I hope nakakaon na tang tanan kay mas nindot maminaw sa ato ang programa nga busog ang ato ang mga tiyan. I hope nga naata sa maayong kahimtang and wala tayong mga gipangbati din ang mga balatian mga kazi. Aron nindot active ang ato ang pagpaminaw ni ining ato ang programa. Hi and hello sa atong mga suking tigpaminaw nga mapadayunon gayod nga nagpalanuglanog ni ining atong programa. Hello sa ato ang Schools Division Superintendent Ma'am Eufemia Gamutin. Hello also to our ASDS Dr. Romel Handayan, to all our education program supervisors and of course special mention sa ating bagong Education Program Supervisor in Mathematics, Dr. Renato Pakpakin. Maayong pagpaminaw and ato apong buot nga itimbaya ato ang division chiefs. We have Dr. Ruben Riponte for the SJOD and our very own program director and at the same time our OIC CID, Dr. Arlene Lee. Maayong pagpaminaw ninyong tanan sa tanang mga public schools district supervisors right now and to all our district coordinating principals, school heads nga I think they are having the Rael right now no sa ilahang mga tagsa-tagsa ka panimalay og mga tulunghaan. I hope you are doing perfectly fine og paminawan ninyo kining ato ang programa hantod alas 2 ang takna sa hapon because we are bound to give you the best and the most timely nga mga lesson presentations for our quarter 3 in mathematics. Hello and maayong pagpaminaw sa akong mga kaubanan din ha sa Monte Vista National High School main campus. Gipangunahan sa amo ang school principal for Dr. Jernaldine O. Perez. Hello also to Sir Genev Miguel, our head teacher 3, and to Ma'am Marites Villa Corteza, our school principal for the senior high school. Sa tanang mga magtutudlo din ha, maayong pagpaminaw and ganina lang atuan ng nabati ug nadunggan dinhi sa ato ang programa our first 2 lesson presentations for today. Let's have first a short recap sa mga nahitabo ganina no. In the first hour atong nakauban si Teacher Lochelle T. Velos, Teacher 1 of San Roque Elementary School for our lesson in Mathematics Grade 5 with our topic visualizes, names, describes, and draws polygons and with 5 or more sides. And in the second hour atong nakauban si Sir Joseph T. Babag, Teacher 1 of Pongpong Integrated School, kauban si Ma'am Aris May H. Olandria, Teacher 1 of Maragusan District for our lesson in Math 6. And we talked about speed, distance, and time. So I hope sa ato ang mga learners nga nakatutok sa ato karon no, daghanta og nakutlo sa ato ang mga pagtulunan nga gihatag kaninyo ganinang taod-taod. And of course, padayon lang sa pagpaminaw tungod kay we are expected to give you right now our lesson presentations for Mathematics Grade 7 and Grade 8. Yes, all that and more ato ang atangan unya lang taod-taod, but for now ato asang itimbaya kining ato ang mga suking tigpaminaw. Hello to our Iris Tia ato magtutudlo dinha sa Tamya Elementary School. Ate Norine Hinampa Sumarago all the way from Davao City, isang guro din ito sa Davao City. Hello to Ma'am Mary Ann Lenas Robles of Montevista Central Elementary School. Hi to Ma'am Ashonet Coyos of Consuelo M. Valderrama National High School. And we also have here Jennifer N. B. Atugan of Monte Vista. Maayong pagpaminaw ninyong tanan, and please keep your greetings and questions coming in pinaagi sa ato ang mga nagkadaiyang social media platforms and sa ato apong mobile phone number. We are still coming to you live pinaagi sa inyong mga radyo 88.5 on your radio dial ug pinaagi sad sa ato ang mga nagkadaiyang social media platforms. We are live at Z Radio 88.5. DepEd Tayo Division of Davao de Oro Facebook page, Radyo Z-Eskwela, DepEd Davao de Oro, and through our YouTube channel at Radyo Z-Eskwela DDO. So please find time mga kaigsuunan nga ubananta ninyo sa ato ang programa, no? And we are also having our attendance link being pinned in our description box sa ato ang mga nagkadaiyang social media platforms kung diin nagapahigayon kita karon sa ato ang live streaming, no? Please find time to fill out our attendance link at https://tinyurl.com/radyozeskwela0406. Again, that's https://tinyurl.com/radyozeskwela0406. Oras nato right now, it's 12:11. Oras atod kanato sa Mackenzie Builders, and also being brought to us by East Sussex Enterprise and Apex Mining Company Incorporated. So I bet everyone is now ready para sa ato ang lesson presentation in Grade 7 Mathematics. Yes, our Grade 7 Mathematics lesson will be presented to us by our constant partner dinhi sa ato ang RBI, no? We have Sir Joseph Z. Rizon of Pantukan National High School, together with the creative resource material developer Sir Roy Y. Matanlong still from Pantukan National High School. And our topic is entitled Solving Linear Equations and Inequalities in One Variable. So please, sa ato ang mga grade 7 learners right now nga naminaw sa ilahang mga tagsa-tagsa ka panimalay, no? Please get ready, find your most comfortable positions, because we are now going to start today's lesson. Marvel on how surprisingly easy and fun learning mathematics is with your MATH-TINIK teachers. Together, let's make our day math saya. Ubani ko ninyo, my name is Teacher Given. Tara na, magklase na ta.
Good afternoon, students, especially to all grade 7 students in the province of Davao de Oro. This is your radio-based instruction in Mathematics 7. I am teacher Joseph Rizon from Pantukan National High School, your radio teacher for today. To start our learning session, please make sure that you are ready and comfortable wherever you are right now. Let me lend your ears and attention as well so that you can focus in our class through radio. Before we are going to start, kindly get your paper, pen, and your Week 6 module entitled Special Products. Now, are you ready to learn something new today? Let's start our lesson for today. Today's session is special products. And at the end of the lesson, you will find inductively and algebraically the product of two binomials, the product of a sum and difference of two terms, the square of a binomial, and the cube of a binomial. Since we are set, are you ready, students? Great! Let's begin with product of two binomials. The general formula for the products of two binomials is quantity A plus B times quantity C plus D, which is AC plus AD plus BC plus BD. This general form is sometimes called the FOIL method, where the letters of FOIL stand for first, outer, inner, and last. This time, we will now use the FOIL method in finding the product of two terms. First, we have the quantity x plus 3 times the quantity x plus 5. In the FOIL method, let's begin with letter F, which is first. Our first is x times x, which is x to the power of 2. O stands for outer, which is x times 5. The answer is 5x. I stands for inner, which is 3 times x. And the answer is 3x. And L stands for last, which is 3 times 5, is equal to 15. Combining similar terms, which are 5x and 3x, we got 8x. And simplifying, the final answer is x to the power of 2 plus 8x plus 15. How about another example? Finding the product of quantity x minus 2 times x minus 4 using our FOIL method. The same process, our first is x times x, which is x to the power of 2. Outer, that's x times negative 4. The answer is negative 4x. I, inner, that's negative 2 times x, which is negative 2x. And L, which is last, negative 2 times negative 4. The answer is positive 8. Combining like terms, which are negative 4x minus 2x, we got negative 6x. And simplifying, the final answer is x to the power of 2 minus 6x plus 8. How about the last example? Find the product of quantity x minus 2 times x plus 5 using our FOIL method. We have the quantity x minus 2 times the quantity x plus 5. Let's begin our first, f. X times x, that's x to the power of 2. Outer, that's x times 5, which is positive 5x. Inner, that's negative 2 times x, that is negative 2x. Last, negative 2 times 5, that is negative 10. Combining like terms, 5x minus 2x, we have 3x. Simplifying, the result is x to the power of 2 plus 3x minus 10. And we are done, students, with the product of two binomials. This time, we will now proceed to the product of sum and difference of two terms. Take note that the product of sum and difference of the two terms will be using FOIL method to find its product. For example, the quantity x plus 1 times the quantity x minus 1 is an example of a product of sum and difference of two terms. Both terms are binomial, but they have different sign. The first term is for the sum term, and the second term is for the difference term. Then the general form of this quantity a plus b times quantity a minus b is just simply a to the power of 2 minus b to the power of 2, where a is our first term and b is our second term. Again, when finding the product of the sum and difference of two terms, the answer is always a to the power of 2 minus b to the power of 2. How about this one? Find the product of x plus 3 times x minus 3 using FOIL method. So first, we have x squared. Outer, we have minus 3x. Inner, we have plus 3x. And last, we have negative 9. Simplifying, we got x to the power of 2 minus 9. How about using the general formula, which is the product of sum and difference of two terms is equal to the a squared minus b squared. Just simply substitute a to our first term and b to our second term. Since our first term is x, therefore a will be replaced by x and b will be replaced by 3. And simplifying, we got x to the power of 2 minus 9. And there you go, students. This time, we will now proceed to the square of a binomial. Please go to page 185 and let us find the concept to remember. Are you now on page 185? Great! The concept of square of a binomial stated that the square of a binomial quantity a plus minus b to the power of 2 is the product of a binomial when multiplied to itself. The square of a binomial has a general formula. Take note. Take note of this general formula. Quantity a plus minus b to the power of 2 is equal to a to the power of 2 plus minus 2ab plus b to the power of 2. As you observe that the second term, which is 2ab, has positive negative sign because it will depend on what sign to be used on our given binomial. If it is a plus b to the power of 2, then the general formula is a to the power of 2 plus 2ab plus b to the power of 2. If our binomial is a minus b to the power of 2, then the general formula is a to the power of 2 minus 2ab plus b squared. This time, we will derive the general formula using the FOIL method. We have the quantity a plus b times the quantity a plus b. Let's start with letter F, which is first. That's a times a squared. O for outer, that is a times b, that is equal to ab. I inner, that is a b times a is equal to ab. And L last, that is b times b, which is b squared. So ab plus ab can be combined in one term, that is 2ab. Therefore, the result is a squared, or a to the power of 2 plus 2ab plus b squared. The product of inner and outer in our FOIL method are identical and can be formed into one term. This means that the square of a binomial will always have 3 terms. Again, the square of a binomial will always have 3 terms. Furthermore, the term b to the power of 2 is always positive, while the sign of the middle term 2ab depends on whether the binomials are sums or differences. This time, please answer the following problem. Find the product of quantity x plus 3 times quantity x plus 3 using FOIL method. We will check this one after the short break. Don't go away, students. We will be right back after the short break.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
And we are back, students. How's the activity? This time, we will now check your answer. Let's evaluate this example. Find the product of the quantity x plus 3 times the quantity x plus 3 using FOIL method. Let's begin with our letter F first. F first, x times x, that is x squared. Outer, x times 3, that is 3x. Inner, that is 3 times x, that's 3x. And last, that's 3 times 3 is equal to 9. Simplifying, since we can combine 3x and 3x, this will result to 6x. And by simplifying, we got x to the power of 2 plus 6x plus 9. Therefore, the square of a binomial x plus 3 is equal to x to the power of 2 plus 6x plus 9. Aside from using FOIL method, another short technique to solve for the square of binomial is just to follow these 3 simple steps. First step, square the first term. Second step, multiply the first term and second term times 2. And the third one is square the second term. Let's apply our short technique in finding the product of quantity x plus 3 to the power of 2. Let's begin with step 1. Square the first term. Since our first term is x, then the square of x is equal to x squared. Second step, multiply the first term and second term times 2. Since our first term is x and our second term is 3, then we will multiply x and 3. The result is 3x, then times 2. So 3x times 2 is equal to 6x. And last step is square the second term. Since our second term is 3, then the square of 3 is equal to 9. Therefore, the product of x, or the product of quantity x plus 3 to the power of 2 is x to the power of 2 plus 6x plus 9. Let's have another example. Find the product of the quantity x plus 5 times the quantity of x plus 5 using FOIL method. Again, using FOIL method. We have quantity x plus 5 times quantity x plus 5. Let's begin with letter F first. That is, x times x is equal to x squared. O, outer, that is, x times 5 is equal to 5x. I, inner, that's 5 times x is equal to 5x. And L for last, that is 5 times 5 is equal to 25. Combining inner and outer terms, 5x plus 5x will result to 10x. Simplifying, we got x to the power of 2 plus 10x plus 25. Therefore, the product of quantity x plus 5 and quantity x plus 5 is equal to x to the power of 2 plus 10x plus 25. How about the same example using the shortest technique, the square of x plus 5? Let's begin with step 1. Square the first term. Since our first term is x and the square of x is x to the power of 2. Second step, multiply the first term and the second term. Then times 2. Since our first term is x and our second term is 5, we will multiply x and 5. We got 5x. And then multiply 5x to 2. That is 5x times 2 is equal to 10x. And last step, square the second term. Since our second term is 5, we will square 5. And the square of 5 is 25. Therefore, the product of the square binomial x plus 5 to the power of 2 is equal to x to the power of 2 plus 10x plus 25. Always remember, students, that the outer and inner terms using FOIL method are identical and can be combined to form one term. This means that the square of a binomial will always have three terms. Furthermore, the term b to the power of 2 is always positive, while the sign of the middle term 2ab depends on whether the binomials are sums or differences. And we are done with the square of binomial. This time, let's go higher. Let's proceed to the cube of a binomial. The cube of a binomial has the general form quantity a plus minus b to the power of 3 is equal to a to the power of 3 plus minus 3a to the power of 2b plus 3ab to the power of 2 plus minus b to the power of 3. Example, the cube of a binomial quantity x plus 1 can be expressed as the quantity x plus 1 to the power of 3, which is equivalent to quantity x plus 1 times quantity x plus 1 times quantity x plus 1. For us to solve this cube of binomial, we will apply the special product of a square of binomial. In this case, we will have first the quantity or the square of a binomial x plus 1. And by using FOIL method, we got quantity x plus 1 times quantity x plus 1. So we have first x squared. O, outer, that's x. I, inner, that's another x. And L, last, that's 1. By simplifying, we got the quantity of x plus 2 to the power of 2 is equal to x squared plus 2x plus 1. So the answer for the square of binomial x plus 1 can be used for us to solve the cube of a binomial x plus 1. So the cube of a binomial is equivalent to the square of a binomial times quantity x plus 1. And we all know that the square of a binomial x plus 1 is equal to x to the power of 2 plus 2x plus 1 as what we have solved a while ago times another x plus 1. Using distributive property, we will be distributing the binomial x plus 1 to our trinomial, which is x to the power of 2 plus 2x plus 1. So we have first x to the power of 2 times x. The answer is x to the power of 3. Next is x to the power of 2 times 1. The answer is x to the power of 2. Another term, 2x times x. The answer is 2x to the power of 2. 2x times 1. The answer is 2x. And the last term for our trinomial, we have 1 times x, that's x, and 1 times 1 is equal to 1. By combining like terms, we got the x squared plus 2x squared is 3x squared. 2x plus x is 3x. And by simplifying, we got x to the power of 3 plus 3x to the power of 2 plus 3x plus 1. Therefore, the cube of a binomial x plus 1 is equal to x to the power of 3 plus 3x to the power of 2 plus 3x plus 1. There is another way to solve a cube of a binomial. Let's take an example using the previous example. We have the cube of x plus 1. So let's have our first step. Our first step, remember, our first step here is cube the first term. Our first term is x. So the cube of x is equal to, great, it's x to the power of 3. The second step, 3, there is a constant 3 times square of the first term times the second term. So we have 3 times the square of the first term, which is x, times the second term, which is 1. We have 3 times square of x times 1 is equal to 3x to the power of 2. Step 3. 3 times the first term times the square of the second term. So we have 3 times x times square of 1 is equal to 3x. And the last step is square the last term or the second term, which is 1. So the square of 1 is 1. And combining all the answers from steps 1 to 4, the final answer is x to the power of 3 plus 3x to the power of 2 plus 3x plus 1. How about finding the cube of binomial x plus 2? So the cube of binomial x plus 2 can be expressed as x plus 2 to the power of 3, and this is equivalent to quantity x plus 2 times quantity x plus 2 times quantity x plus 2. In solving the cube of binomial x plus 2, we will use the shortest way. Let's begin with step number 1. Cube the first term. Our first term is x, therefore we will cube x, and the cube of x is x to the power of 3. Second step, 3 times square of the first term times the second term. So we have 3, the square of the first term, which is x, times the second term, which is 2. That is 6x to the power of 2. step 3, we have 3 times the first term times the square of the second term, that is 3 times the first term, which is x, times the square of the second term, which is 2, is equal to 12x. And the last step, square the last term. Since our last term is 2, therefore the square of 2 is 4. Combining all the answers from step 1 to 4, we got x to the power of 3 plus 6x to the power of 2 plus 12x plus 4. And we are done, students. This time, we will now evaluate your understanding. Please go to page 181, exercise number 3, and answer number 1 only. Another item to be answered, please go to page 185, exercise number 3, and answer number 1 only. And the last item to be answered, please go to page 187, exercise number 3, and answer number 1 only. Please answer these 3 items, students. We will check after this short break. Don't go away. We will be right back after the break time.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
And we are back, students. This time, we will now check your answers. For our first item, find the product using FOIL method. Quantity x plus 2 times quantity x plus 7. So we have first x to the power of 2. Outer, 7x. Inner, that's 2x. And last, that's 14. Combining, we have x to the power of 2 plus 7x plus 2x plus 14. Combining similar terms, we got 7x plus 2x is equal to 9x. And simplifying, the result now is x to the power of 2 plus 9x plus 14. How about for the second item? Find the square of binomial x plus 5. So let's use the shortest way. Step 1, square the first term. Since our first term is x, then the step 1 is x to the power of 2. Step 2, multiply the first and second term, then times 2. Since our first term is x and our second term is 5, therefore 5 times x is 5x, then times 2. So 5x times 2 is equal to 10x. Step 3, square the last term. Since our last term is 5, then the square of 5 is 25. Combining all the answers from step 1 to 3, the result now is x to the power of 2 plus 10x plus 25. And for the last item, we will expand the cube of binomial x plus 5. This time we will use the shortest way. First step, cube the first term. Since our first term is x, then the cube of x is x to the power of 3. Second step, 3 times the square of the first term, which is x, times the second term, which is 5. That is 3 times x to the power of 2 times 5 is equal to 15x to the power of 2. Step 3, 3 times the first term, which is x, multiply to the square of the second term, which is 5. That is 3 times x times 5 to the power of 2. That is 3x times 25. That is 75x. And the last step is cube the last term. Since our last term is 5, then the cube of 5 is equal to 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125. Combining all the answers from step 1 to 4, the result now is x to the power of 3 plus 15x to the power of 2 plus 75x plus 125. How's your score, students? Did you get all the correct answers? Great! This time, we will have our recap for our special products. The general formula for the product of two binomials is the quantity A plus B times quantity C plus D. This general formula is sometimes called the FOIL method, where the letters FOIL stands for first, outer, inner, and last. Next, the square of a binomial A plus minus B is the product of binomial when multiplied to itself. The square of a binomial has a general formula where the square of binomial A plus minus B is equal to A to the power of 2 plus minus 2AB plus B to the power of 2, where B to the power of 2 is always positive, and the sign of 2AB depends whether what sign to be used on our given binomial. Next, the cube of binomial has the general form also. We have the cube of A plus minus B is equal to A to the power of 3 plus minus 3A to the power of 2, B plus 3AB to the power of 2 plus minus B to the power of 3. Go students! Thank you so much for listening. I hope you got something from me. Please take care of yourself. Be safe always. Mag-amping kanunay para sa COVID makalikay. God bless us all.
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive Committee. The School's Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin Seso 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco. School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members, Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Eldecris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangit, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Daylan S. Milabat,
Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland D. Yu, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riven Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Baniez. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian Anhara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istaniol, Richard H. Arellano, Glee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Araiz.
Kini ang Siguradong Lingaw.
Siguradong lingaw.
Siguradong kuyaw.
Siguradong kuyaw.
88.5 Z Radio.
This is Z Radio 88.5.
Z-Radio 88.5. Siguradong lingaw. Siguradong kuyaw.
Kazi, usa ka ba ka teki? Pindot dire, pindot dito. Ang inyong bagong Z-Radio may application na. Mag-download sa Android App Store ug Z-Radio application aron masking asa ka man mo adto, Luzon, Visayas ug Mindanao o masking naka sa Zimbabwe. Makapaminaw ka sa Siguradong Lingaw, Siguradong Kuyaw, Z-Radio 88.5.
Z-Radio 88.5. Siguradong lingaw, siguradong kuyaw.
Time now, it's 12:51 in the afternoon, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, ato ang lesson presentation for Mathematics Grade 7 nga gihatod kanato sa atong ato ang content presenter na si Sir Joseph Z. Rizon of Pantuca National High School with Sir Roy Y. Matanlong, the Creative Resource Material Developer. So sa ato ang mga nag-prepare sa ato ang lesson for today in Mathematics Grade 7, congratulations and thank you very much sa inyong continuous na commitment alang sa ato ang programang Radyo Z-Eskwela. Of course, ato apong itimbaya kining atong mga suking tigpaminaw nga nagpalanog-lanog karong mga takna. Hello to Ma'am Hilda Openia, our Education Program Supervisor in English. Maayong pagpaminaw, Ma'am Da, and I hope you are doing perfectly fine din kung asa man ka nahimutang karon. And also, we are saying hi and hello to Ellen Tihamo, Elina Kaintek Palcon of Compostela Central Elementary School SPED Center. Hello to Ma'am Ruth Zel Espinosa, Ma'am Weng Leones Salinas of Compostela Central, Sir Ali Dawani, Merla Alcontin Munoz, Ma'am Marisa Ibasitas Liwaya of Panoraon Elementary School, Mako South District. Hello also to Ma'am Angeline De La Serna, Sir Vincent Hustol II from New Bataan, Sir Kadafi Laurio from Mabini National High School, Joshane Cobrado from Mabini, and Lorraine Cabahog from Mabini National High School. Sa ato ang mga suking tigpaminaw din hisan Municipality of Nabunturan, especially sa ato ang mga kaubanang teachers din sa Nabunturan National Comprehensive High School and Nabunturan Central Elementary School SPED Center, maayong pagpaminaw. Hi also to Flory May Gabato Doidora, usa sa atong mga magtutudlo gikan din sa Maragusan District, and to all who are watching right now, maayong pagpaminaw, and sa mga nakaantabay karon sa ilahang mga radyo, thank you very much for tuning in. Of course, atong pasalamatan kining ato ang mga usual partners nga nagatabang sa ato sa pag-implement ni ining ato ang programa, no? The Department of Education Division of Davao de Oro is very much grateful to our program sponsors. Hi to Metro Gear Construction Corporation, Nen Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, Apex Mining Company Incorporated, Pahati Construction, and of course, our heartfelt thanks goes out sa ato ang Vice Governor Maria Carmen Zamora. Thank you very much for your overwhelming support. Mabati og makita gihapon ta ninyo pinaagi sa inyuhang mga radyo 88.5 on your radio dial og sa atuang mga nagkadaiyang social media platforms. We are still coming to you live via Facebook live streaming at Z Radio 88.5, DepEd tayo Division of Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela DepEd Davao de Oro, and through our YouTube channel at Radyo Z-Eskwela DDO. Good afternoon to Ma'am Omega Kuray dinha sa Maparat Elementary School ug sa tanan natong mga tutudlo dinha sa Maparat Elementary School nga naminaw karon and Maparat National High School. Hi also to Ma'am Vernaline Alim Camus of Consuelo M. Valderrama National High School and to Rovi Alicaya all the way from Davao City. Maayong pagpaminaw ninyong tanan. Oras nato, it's 12:55. When we come back, atuan ang ihatag kaninyo our last and final lesson presentation for today's episode. All that and more din hilang sa ato ang programang Radyo Z-Eskwela, Siguradong Masaya. Right and only here at Z Radio 88.5, ang istasyong Siguradong Lingaw, Siguradong Kuyaw. My name is Teacher Given.
Bahatag tuyot sunog lindol bagyo, mga kalamidad na likas sa ating mundo, napapahamak ang buhay at kabuhayan, kaya naman kailangan ngang paghandaan.
Maging handa, maging alerto, tungkulin to ng bawat mamamayan. Kaya tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Laging handa.
Kalamidad ay maaasahang darating,
Sa di inaasahang oras,
kaya naman hindi na dapat hintayin. Unahan na habang di pa natataranta,
maging handa, maging alerto, tungkulin to ng bawat mamamayan. Kaya tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Suriin mo mabuti ang iyong kapaligiran. Saan ka pa nakatira? Diyan ba ay bumabaha? Tuwing gamot pagkain, bumot pang sindi, first aid kit, mga gamit panligtas ng buhay dapat mabitbit. At sakaling lumindol o sumabog ang duga, meron bang matadaanan palayo sa kasawian? Panahon na ay malupit at ang hangin hagupit. Mabuti na lang na tayo ay laging nakahanda. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Education with the support of World Vision Development Foundation.
Z Radio 88.5 FM in partnership with the DepEd Division Office of Davao de Oro presents the Radyo Z-Eskwela program, a radio-based instruction that will cater learners in the entire province of Davao de Oro. Division Executive Committee headed by the Schools Division Superintendent Eufemia T. Gamutin, CESO 5, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent Feby K. L. Refamonte, CPA, Curriculum Implementation Division Chief Dr. Josie T. Bolufer, and School Governance and Operations Division Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members: Karina S. Frasco, Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opena, Dr. Arlene B. Lin, Dr. Eldicris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinuti, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Fabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangi, Curly Ringo, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Daylan S. Milaban, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee for Production and Communications: Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judelan T. U, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Irene Leia C. Mangohon, and Bessie Aya N. Banyes. Social Media and Packaging Team: Christian Anhara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoto, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istaniol, Richard H. Arellano, Glee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyan, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Arais.
Nagasipya gikan sa Bulawanong probinsya sa Davao de Oro. Kini ang Siguradong Lingaw.
Siguradong lingaw.
Siguradong kuyaw.
Siguradong kuyaw.
88.5 Z Radio.
This is Z Radio 88.5.
Z Radio 88.5. Siguradong lingaw. Siguradong kuyaw.
Time now, it's 1:01 in the afternoon. Ug kamog hapon na minaw ni ining atong programang Radyo Z-Eskwela, Siguradong Masaya. Right and only here at Z Radio 88.5, ang istasyong Siguradong Lingaw, Siguradong Kuyaw. And kauban gihapon ninyo, my name is Teacher Given, ug ako ang inyong makauban down to 2 o'clock this afternoon para sa ato ang lesson presentations in mathematics. And we are saying hello also to our avid listeners and viewers in the online world ni ining atong programa. Hello to Ma'am Vivian Kabiling, magtutudlo nato dinha sa Compostela National High School, and to all our teachers and friends from Compostela National High School. Maayong pagpaminaw ninyong tanan. Hello also to Veronica Casasola Cancela, ato ang avid listener also from Mayaon National High School. Hello to Sir Jelito Cerato and to Ma'am Pinky Palmaria, ang ato ang school head dinha no sa Mayaon National High School. Thank you very much for tuning in. We are also saying hello to Ma'am Heidi Pilicano at Rosary Alagon Lamera of Monte Vista National High School. Hello to Judy Hinampas. We also have Ma'am Marites Somera, Ma'am Omega Coray of Maparat Elementary School, and once again, hello to our Education Program Supervisor in English, Dr. Hilda Opena. And right now, ato asang pasalamatan kining ato ang mga usual partners sa implementation nato sa ato ang radio-based instruction. Hello to Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Kanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, and Metro Gear Construction Corporation. To all of you, thank you very much for your overwhelming support. Happy listening also to Brainiel Neri, maayong pagpaminaw, and once again to Vivian Kabiling, who will be getting married on Thursday. Maayong pagpaminaw din ha. I bet everyone is now excited to hear out our lesson presentation for Mathematics Grade 8. So sa ato ang mga learners in Grade 8 din ha, from all over Davao de Oro, ug sa ato ang mga kasikbit nga mga probinsya nga naminaw sa ato ang programa right now, please get ready kay ato ang ihatag kaninyo ato ang leksyon karong adlaw for Mathematics Grade 8. Our lesson presentation for Math 8 will be presented to us by Ma'am Michelle Iniere of Tambungon National High School with our creative resource material developer also from New Bataan National High School, Ma'am Shana May C. Diazon. And we will be talking about axioms and property of equality, postulates, and theorems in identifying mathematical systems. Kaya naman, please get ready, have with you your modules and noting essentials kay atuan ang pagasugdan kining ato ang leksyon para sa Mathematics Grade 8. Marvel on how surprisingly easy and fun learning mathematics is with your MATH-TINIK teachers, and together, let's make our day math saya. My name is Teacher Given. Tara na, magklase na ta.
Good day, Grade 8 learners. Your teacher is back on track to help you learn the lessons in Mathematics 8. I am Teacher Michelle Niere of Tambungon National High School, and I will be your guide in enhancing your minds in facing challenges in Grade 8 Mathematics. Please ready your papers and pens. Listen and understand carefully, and let us have a wonderful day of learning axioms and properties of equality, postulates, and a theorem in identifying mathematical systems. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to, number 1, identify the axioms and properties of equality. 2. Define postulates and theorems on undefined terms and angle pairs. And 3. Use axioms and properties of equality, postulates, and a theorem in identifying mathematical systems. When you make observations on some mathematical systems, you are actually making discussions just like what mathematicians do. Hence, consider yourself as little mathematicians as we explore our lesson today. Before we go through the process, let's take a few minutes to master the knowledge and skills on the properties of equality and congruence, definitions, postulates, and theorems of undefined terms. Are you now ready? So let us begin. Let us first identify the axioms and properties of equality. First, addition property of equality, or APE, states that for all real numbers A, B, C, and D, if A is equal to B and C is equal to D, then A plus C is equal to B plus D. Second, subtraction property of equality. If A is equal to B and C is equal to D, then A minus C is equal to B minus D. Again, that is according to subtraction property of equality. Next, multiplication property of equality. It states that if A is equal to B and C is equal to D, then A times C is equal to B times D. Fourth property of equality, we have division property of equality. If A is equal to B and C is not equal to 0, then A over C is equal to B over C. The fifth one, substitution property of equality. It states that if A is equal to B, then A may be replaced by B at any time. That is, again, according to substitution property of equality. The sixth one, distributive property. Distributive property is defined as A times the quantity of B plus C is equal to A times B plus A times C. The seventh one is the reflexive property. It could be defined by the statement A is equal to A. Anything is equal to itself. 8. Symmetric property. If A is equal to B, then B is equal to A. 9th, transitive property. If A is equal to B, then B is equal to C, then A is equal to C. That is according to transitive property. Now, let us identify the properties of congruence. First, let's have reflexive property. It states that line AB is congruent to line AB. An angle or a segment is congruent to itself. That is according to reflexive property. Next, symmetric property. If angle A is congruent to angle B, then angle B is congruent to angle A. Next, transitive property. If angle A is congruent to angle B and angle B is congruent to angle C, then angle A is congruent to angle C. This time, let us answer this activity together for you to understand and remember these actions and properties of equality. Are you ready? So let us now listen to the direction very carefully. The letters A, B, and C in each mathematical system represent real numbers. Listen to the questions very carefully and choose the letter of the correct answer. Number 1. If A is equal to B, then B is equal to A. Identify what type of property is being depicted by the statement if A is equal to B, then B is equal to A. Letter A. Symmetric property of equality. Letter B. Transitive property of equality. And letter C. Reflexive property of equality. Again, letter A. Symmetric property of equality. Letter B. Transitive property of equality. And letter C. Reflexive property of equality. Okay, what is your answer for number 1? Very good. The correct answer is letter A. Symmetric property of equality. Let's proceed to item number 2. It states that if A is equal to B, then A times C is equal to B times C. Again, identify what type of property is being represented by the statement if A is equal to B, then A times C is equal to B times C. Letter A. Reflexive property of equality. Letter B, transitive property of equality. And letter C, multiplication property of equality. What is the correct answer for number 2, grade 8 learners? The correct answer is correct. Letter C, multiplication property of equality. Let us proceed to item number 3. Item number 3 says, line AB is congruent to line AB. The question is, what type of property is being depicted by the statement line AB is congruent to line AB? Letter A, division property of equality. Letter B, reflexive property of congruence. And letter C, substitution property of equality. Again, letter A, division property of equality. Letter B, reflexive property of congruence. And letter C, substitution property of equality. Okay, what is your answer for number 3? The correct answer for number 3 is letter B, reflexive property of congruence. Item number 4. If A is equal to B and C is not equal to 0, then A over C is equal to B over C. Again, number 4 says, if A is equal to B and C is not equal to 0, then A over C is equal to B over C. So what type of property is number 4? Letter A, division property of equality. Letter B, symmetric property of congruence. And letter C, substitution property of equality. What is the correct answer for number 4? Correct. The correct answer for number 4 is letter A, division property of equality. Let us proceed to our last item in our activity this afternoon. Item number 5. Listen very carefully. If A is equal to B, then B can be substituted for A in any expression. Again, if A is equal to B, then B can be substituted for A in any expression. Letter A, reflexive property of equality. Letter B, transitive property of congruence. And letter C, substitution property of equality. Again, number 5, if A is equal to B, then B can be substituted for A in any expression. What type of property is item number 5? Again, letter A, reflexive property of equality. Letter B, transitive property of congruence. And letter C, substitution property of equality. What is the correct answer for number 5? The answer for number 5 is great. The answer is C, substitution property of equality. Wow! You really did a great job this afternoon. I am sure that at this moment, you have gone so far in learning our lesson for today. You are now one step closer in preparing yourself to observe mathematical systems. Aside from the axioms and properties of equality, you should be equipped with the knowledge on undefined terms, definitions, postulates, and theorems in geometry. These are necessary to successfully support the statement of a proof on your next lesson. Let us learn more about it when we come back.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
Good afternoon once again, and welcome back to the second part of our session this afternoon. Let us continue by equipping ourselves with the knowledge on undefined terms, definitions, postulates, and theorems and geometry. Let us now get started. Let us begin by the definition of a midpoint. If points P, Q, and R are collinear and Q is the midpoint of line PR, then line PQ is congruent to line QR. Again, if points P, Q, and R are collinear and Q is the midpoint of line PR, then line PQ is congruent to line QR. Again, the definition of a midpoint can be represented by the statement if points P, Q, and R are collinear and Q is the midpoint of line PR, then line PQ is congruent to line QR. Let's proceed to our second definition, the definition of an angle bisector. If ray QS bisects angle PQR, then angle PQS is congruent to angle SQR. Again, the definition of an angle bisector. Again, let us proceed to our second definition, the definition of an angle bisector. If ray QS bisects angle PQR, then angle PQS is congruent to angle SQR. That is according to the definition of an angle bisector. Now, let's have the segment addition postulate. If points P, Q, and R are collinear and Q is between points P and R, then PQ plus QR is equal to PR. Again, if P, Q, and R, if points P, Q, and R are collinear and Q is between points P and R, then line PQ plus line QR is equal to line PR. If PQ is equal to 5 and QR is equal to 6, then line PR is equal to 11 by segment addition postulate. Again, segment addition postulate. If points P, Q, and R are collinear and Q is between points P and R, then line PQ plus line QR is equal to PR. If PQ is 5 and QR is 6, then line PR is equal to 11 by segment addition postulate. This time, let us have the angle addition postulate. If point S lies in the interior of angle PQR, then the measure of angle PQS plus the measure of angle SQR is equal to the measure of angle PQR. Now, let us have the definition of supplementary angles. Two angles are supplementary if the sum of their measure is 180 degrees. Again, according to definition of supplementary angles, two angles are supplementary if the sum of their measures is 180 degrees. This time, we'll have the definition of complementary angles. Two angles are complementary if the sum of their measures is 90 degrees. Again, two angles are said to be complementary if the sum of their measures is 90 degrees. How about the definition of a linear pair? Linear pair is a pair of adjacent angles formed by two intersecting lines. Again, linear pair is a pair of adjacent angles formed by two intersecting lines. In the figure, angle 1 and angle 2 are a linear pair of angles. This time, let's have a theorem on linear pair known as the linear pair theorem. If two angles form a linear pair, then they are supplementary. Again, if two angles form a linear pair, then they are supplementary. If angle A and angle B are two adjacent angles and form a linear pair, then the sum of angle A and angle B is 180 degrees. Again, if angles form a linear pair, then they are supplementary. The measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B is equal to 180 degrees. We'll have the definition of vertical angles. Vertical angles refer to two non-adjacent angles formed by two intersecting lines. Again, vertical angles refer to two non-adjacent angles formed by two intersecting lines. In the figure, angle A and angle B are two vertical angles. Let's have vertical angles theorem. Vertical angles theorem is simply defined as vertical angles are congruent. Again, vertical angles are congruent. In the figure, angle Y is congruent to another angle Y, and angle X is congruent to another angle X, since angle X is vertical to another angle X. We are done with the definition of all the basic terms in geometry. To all grade 8 learners who are with us now, I congratulate you for having this far. At this moment, we'll answer another activity that will make sure that you gained the lesson meaningfully. Listen carefully to the direction. The direction says, study the figure and tell what is asked in each item. Again, study the figure and tell what is asked in each item. Figure number 1. Points A, B, and C are collinear. What is the midpoint of line AC? Again, points A, B, and C are collinear. What is the midpoint of line AC? The answer is correct. Point B. Item number 2. Line OP bisects angle AOB. If angle AOP is equal to 23 degrees, then find angle POB. Again, line OP bisects angle AOB. If angle AOP is equal to 23 degrees, then what is the measure of angle POB? Correct. The answer is 23 degrees. The angle, when bisected by a segment, makes the two angles equal. Let's have item number 3. If line AC is equal to 11 and line BC is equal to 9, what is the measure of line AB? Again, if line AC is equal to 11 and BC is equal to 9, what is the measure of line AB? Okay, we'll check your answer after our short break. So you are given enough time to find the answer.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Maze Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
For the third time, let me say good afternoon. Let's have the continuation of our activity earlier. We'll now have the answer of our item number 3. If line AC is equal to 11 and line BC is equal to 9, what is the measure of line AB? Very good. The answer is 2. The measure of line AB is 2. Let us have our fourth item. If angle ADB is equal to 21 and angle BDC is equal to 63, then what is the measure of angle ADC? Provided ray DB intersects angle ABC. Again, if angle ADB is equal to 21 degrees and angle BDC is equal to 63 degrees, then what is the measure of angle ADC? The answer is 83 degrees. Item number 5. What is the measure of angle X in the figure? Again, what is the measure of angle X in the figure? This could be answered using the linear pair theorem. The answer is 50 degrees. That is according to the definition of supplementary angles. Item number 6. Two angles are adjacent and measures 145 degrees and 35 degrees respectively. Do they form a linear pair? Again, two angles are adjacent and measures 145 degrees and 35 degrees respectively. Do they form a linear pair? The answer is yes, because adding 145 degrees and 35 degrees has a sum of 180 degrees. Therefore, the two angles with the measure of 35 degrees and 145 degrees is a linear pair or form a linear pair. Let's have item number 7. The last item of our last activity this afternoon. If angle 2 is equal to 26 degrees, what is the measure of angle 4? If angle 2 is equal to 20 degrees, what is the measure of angle 4? Correct. The answer of number 4 is 26 degrees. That is according to vertical angle theorem. Vertical angles are congruent. Since angle 2 is congruent to angle 4 and angle 2 has a measure of 26 degrees, therefore automatically angle 4 has also a measure of 26 degrees. And that ends our discussion for this afternoon. Great job, little mathematicians! For sure, you are now totally equipped with the key terms that are very useful in writing proof. Remember that all of these properties of congruence and equality, as well as postulates and theorems on defined terms, are very useful in giving reasons for some mathematical statements. Once again, I am Teacher Michelle Niere and see you on our next lesson. Stay safe everyone and bye for now.
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive Committee, the School's Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin Saso 5, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan, OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco, School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte, Members, Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene D. Lim, Dr. Eldicris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangi, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Dalan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland D. Yu, Donna D. D. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riven Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banias. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian and Hara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istanyol, Richard H. Arellano, Lee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Araiz.
Download sa Android App Store ug Z-Radio application aron masking asa ka man moadto, Luzon, Visayas ug Mindanao ug masking naka sa Zimbabwe. Makapaminaw ka sa Siguradong Lingaw, Siguradong Kuyaw, Z-Radio 88.5.
Sa bulawan doon nga pagsibyan, Z-Radio. Magbayanihan na, magbayanihan na, bayanihan, pagtutulungan, walang kupas na kaugalian. Nagtagatibay, sinasabuhay, galak sa puso ay walang kapantay. Panahon na naman ang bigada, pagbigisin lakas at diwa. Tara na brigada na, brigada, eskwela, magkaisa sama-sama. Brigada, eskwela, sa na buong barkada. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Ikaw ako, Tayong lahat, hawak kamay, sabay-sabay, kapit bisig, buong bayan. Tara na, kumilos na. Tulong-tulong sa pagsulong, hatid na kalidad sa edukasyon. Sa kabataan, saya at dunong, buong adla sabay na aahon. Panahon na naman ng brigada, pagbigisin lakas at diwa. Tara na, brigada na. Brigada, eskwela, magkaisa, sama-sama. Brigada, eskwela, sanib na buong barkada. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Brigada, magbayanihan na. Sabay-sabayhan na.
Katambalan ng pag-ahon, isang bansang puso ay pinag-iisa.
Nang diin, lahat tayo'y uunlad at aangat.
Yan tayo, na brigada, diwa ng bayanihan, atin ang hanggang simula. Man ang mararating, mananatiling tayo ay magkasangga. Dahil sa tuwing kasama ka, kabayani ka brigada, lahat ang ika'y gawin, bigat ay kayang buhatin. Ito ang pusong brigada, paalala ay pinapaganda. Pusong brigada, eskwela, walang iwanan tayo.
Paano lang, tinatawag na tahanan.
Aalagaan, patuloy pagyamanin, kulay at tinig, panatilihin natin. Kapit lang,
Sama-sama,
walang iwanan,
mananatiling magkasangga.
langit ay kakampirin natin. Ano man ang mararating, mananatiling tayo ay magkasangga. Dahil sa tuwing kasama ka, kabayani ka brigada, lahat ay kayang gawin, bigat ay kayang buhatin. Pusong brigada, eskwela, walang iwanan tayo. Walang iwanan tayo.
Sugata ang adlaw with a smile. Tune in na sa radio, in alive. Bisan na sa man good, listen to the music and it feels so good. Ay gundang ihangtod, napapuntagan pero lingaw man pod. Sa balay man o trabaho, bisan na sa man ka mo adto. Giving you the best music, diri lang sa Z-Radio. Kahit ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawanon na Pasibya, Z-Radio. Kahit ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawanon na Pasibya, Z-Radio. Don't stop sa Z-Radio, tagaan mong lingaw. Kay giving you the best music and everything, that's what make us proud. So turn your radio up, don't stop. Chillin' mag-tune in sa radio, all day, all night. Diri lang sa Z-Radio. Minsan o gasa pakapadulong, sa balay man o trabaho. Giving you the best music and everything, diri lang sa Z-Radio. Kahit ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawanon na Pasibya,
Z Radio 88.5.
Check our time, it's 1:50 in the afternoon and you are still tuning into Z Radio 88.5 on your radio dial, ang istasyong Siguradong Dingaw, Siguradong Kuyaw para sa atong programang Radyo Z-Eskwela, Siguradong Masaya. Ladies and gentlemen, ato anang nahatod kaninyo ato ang lesson presentation for Math 8 with our topic Axioms and Properties of Equality, Postulates, and Theorems in Identifying Mathematical Systems. Thank you very much sa ating content presenter na si Ma'am Michelle Iniere of Tambungon National High School. Also to our creative resource material developer from New Bataan National High School. Hello to Ma'am Shana May C. Diazon. Maayong pagpaminaw ninyong tanan. And of course, congratulations for a job very well done sa paghatod sa ato ang leksyon alang sa ato mga learners sa Grade 8 Mathematics. Another learning episode had passed, ladies and gentlemen, and we would like to thank everyone for really being with us here all along sa ato ang programa. Matag adlaw nga tanan, and I hope nga daghan kay tag nakatunan karong mga taknaa for this episode karong adlaw tungod kay gihatod gud kay kini sa ato ang mga content presenters kaninyo with all effort and with all love alang sa ato ang mga learners. Once again, hello sa ato ang mga suking tigpaminaw, and thank you very much sa inyuhang madasigon nga pagpaminaw ni ining ato ang programa. Hi also once again to all our division chiefs, division heads nga naminaw pod kanato karong adlaw, and sa tanang mga magtutudlo from all over Davao de Oro, thank you very much. Karon nga episode murag we garnered a lot of attendees sa ato ang programa, no, and that was manifested through our attendance sheet. And so far ganina ato ang nadunggan nga ang pinakadako or pinakataas og attendance for today's episode is the Monte Vista National High School main campus. Sa way pabor-pabor ako anang eskwelahan din ha. So sa ato ang mga kaubanan, no, daghan kayong salamat kay dili gyud ni mamahimong successful unless dili po ninyo ihatag ang inyuhang full support ni ining ato ang programa through sending our link and link sa ato ang live stream, and at the same time link sa ato ang attendance ngadto sa inyuhang mga estudyante. And for that, thank you kaayo. Later on ato ang ihatag maybe unya, no, ato ang makita ang graphical presentation sa ato ang attendance for today. And ug mga adlaw amo among i-inform kung unsa gyud ang status sa ato ang episode karon pinaagi sa inyuhang pag-fill out sa ato ang attendance. Oras nato it's 1:53. Wala tay igong oras mga igsuon. Daghan kayong salamat sa pag-uban sa atong upat ka oras nga programa karong adlaw. My name is Teacher Given, og sa kinatibuk ang puwersa ni ining ato ang programang Radyo Z-Eskwela, no. Daghan kayong salamat. Ato apong itimbayaan pasalamatan my VMix operator for today. We have Sir Tata Aposar. Hello also to Ma'am May Estanyol, ato ang secretariat and SMPT nga naka-duty karon, and to Ma'am Bessie Aya Banyes, maayong pagpaminaw. This has been your anchor. My name is Teacher Given. God bless everyone, og dalaygo ng Dios. Keep safe always.
To the music and it feels so good. Ay gundang ihangtod, di papuntagan pero lingaw man pod. Sa balay man o trabaho, bisan nasa man ka mo adto. Giving you the best music, diri lang sa Z Radio.